Yes, guys, welcome back. Happy Sunday evening to you all. I hope you've had a good weekend. I know, blink and it's gone. Blink and it's gone. I know, but it's that time of the day. It's that time of the day. We'll go through my analysis for the coming week in the markets, and we've got some good ideas on the horizon. US dollar weakness. I will point that out why I'm saying that. But as always, first and foremost, we are going to go through Forex Factory. The US dollar's got a lot of impact next week, which it will become apparent within the next few seconds. But yeah, let's check the news. Let's see what's going on for next week, and then we'll get stuck into it. So yeah, Monday, not a lot till Thursday, guys. Not a lot. There's a little bit Wednesday, core PPI on Wednesday, half one, usual time. But Thursday is the one. We got big Euro news Thursday, but USD. So USD trades next week will have a lot of impact on them. So we need to be mindful of what zones that we're in and around basically over the next coming days. Even Friday, prelim UMO consumer sentiment 3 o'clock. So end of play Friday, really, in terms of news. So yeah, next week, guys, it's going to be spicy for the US dollar, and we're going to get into it. Look, right, we're going to get straight into the US dollar, and I say weakness. So we've been consolidating. We've been in this no man's land now for flipping weeks. We've spoken about this for weeks now. But look at this on the weekly now. What I've seen on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly, look at all the rejections that we're having from the upside. Bearish rejection basically for 3 consecutive weeks now. Last week we did break the previous 3 week lows, but we didn't close from a weekly perspective below it. So what I'm saying is we are probably going to end up getting some form of a top wick next week on the US dollar, but we're going to get some follow through. And this is sort of coinciding with what I was saying on Friday when I done my account build part two Friday. I was talking about like NFP came out and I was saying that I don't think it was a fake out, but I'm talking about like the rates or the figures. I don't think they're letting on the exact figures yet. They're waiting for another news announcement. Like NFP was just a bit of a teaser, basically, sort of thing. Like here, and then we'll wait for um, CPI and core PPI to kick in, and then that will continue the US dollar weakness because it's been on the cards for a while, guys. It's been on the cards for a while, and I don't think this demand's going to work. I've got it marked, but it's there's a gap here anyway. There is a gap here anyway that does need to be filled, which I would definitely put a finger on it that is likely to get filled next week for sure. But it is, yeah, it's strong demand, to be honest. To be fair, it is very strong demand. But we've been in here consolidating for so many weeks now. I just can't imagine that we're just going to literally, you know, in 1 day or 2 days, just wick into this zone and then just go see you later. You don't just sit in this area for a few weeks and just wick and then go away. Like, there will be follow through. And then that's when I was talking about these real big, deep, nice demand areas down here where you could then, on the FX pairs, you could get into some real nice long term swing trades, to be honest with you. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, to be honest, I mean, US dollar weakness over the next week for sure. It's all there it's written in front of you. Like I said, 3 consecutive bearish pressure to the downside. It takes a lot to do that over a 3 week period, right? So yeah, let's keep an eye on the US dollar next week, guys. We will anyway. Gonna need to eye up some. Sorry, guys, had to pause it dead quick. Yeah, sorry. The US dollar. We've spoken a good amount about that now, guys. I'm gonna jump onto the DAX. Okay. We're going to analyze the DAX. Oh, not. We're not going to analyze that. We're going to analyze that. This was a trade idea I gave out on DAX when I last analyzed it. Actually, ironically, this is about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I gave this trade idea out on my Sunday evening analysis like this, and I said, you know, guys, there's one for you, and there it is. So ideal, but the DAX. So similar scenario to the US dollar, sideways really. We're just in a sideways range. We're comfortable between certain price levels, and it is just ranging sideways. One thing to bear in mind is imaginary trend line. We're sort of sideways, but slowly, like, yeah, support, hang on, support, yeah, stack, like that is clear price movement going upward. So to be honest, good trade idea here for the DAX would be this. This is demand that has been trying to give reactions, but is not. It's been breached now, basically, and then we've tapped into the lower demand, which is down here. So we've tapped into that demand literally by a whisker, and I think if we come back down and get another tap of this demand, it would be a very good trade idea, to be quite honest with you, to just, yeah, go back up into supply like that. Is, yeah. So I will keep tabs on this because I like this trade idea. There's a lad in my group who absolutely, I called him the DAX Slayer. Like, he's class at flipping trading the DAX. He loves it. So that's what I'm seeing on the DAX, guys. And like I said, from an overall perspective, overall time frame, we are what I spoke about with gold a few weeks back, coiled spring scenario, but on the weekly time frame. So if you catch some buy positions on the DAX down here, you could hold them good, because I reckon the German 40 is ready for new all-time highs. Personally speaking, looking at that, looking at this, it's gaining a hell of a momentum to the upside. This I'm looking. Do you know what? On my build account, part 3, long term. Well, I say long term. Part 3, I'll be entering a DAX long position for a couple of days or for whatever. But yeah, that's what I'm going to look to do. Right, gold, guys. We're in all-time highs. Like, there's nothing to really go by. Staircase scenario. I reckon next week we're just going to continue going. Dollar weakness, gold goes up. You know, that is it. Dollar weakness, gold goes up. So next week, my point of view on gold is for gold to keep skyrocketing. If I'm honest with you, Swiss franc. Yeah, that's cool. There's a little gap up here, and it's sort of trying to come up to fill that gap. And whether it does that or not, who knows? But that was almost a kind of Red Bull scenario of the staircase. So we could get some strength in the Swiss franc next week to fill this gap, potentially react off of this supply area as well. So that's what makes sense with the Swiss franc next week, is that basically. Well, I say next week, it's slowish. It'll probably take a week or two to get there, but that's my personal point of view, and then continue the head and shoulders down. New Zealand dollar, weakness. I feel. I mean, well, yeah, we filled that gap. US dollar, New Zealand dollar. Sorry, yeah. Weekly. It's a tricky one, guys. you know, it's a tricky one because that's a clean move there. Clean moves do get copied 9 times out of 10, but I mean, it's creating a lot of what a lot of people call support here, isn't it? It's prices basically doesn't prices happy where it's to, and it's sort of gone back in this range as well. This is a very big range, and it's got itself back in there. So we could have some more dancing around with the New Zealand dollar, guys. To be honest, some more dancing to come. Dancing around for the Mexican peso. Wouldn't be nice to have a breakout up to here, get wicked in. Japanese yen dancing, we won't worry about that. Right, so the British pound also not really doing a lot, guys. British pound. Next week, over the next coming week, something's going to happen. It's going to shake the market up for sure. Australian dollar. Australian dollar. I want to get into some Australian dollar trades, you know, but this is just tonight. Rejection from the downside as a gap there. Yeah, some Australian dollar strength to come. We've had good rejections here to continue pushing up. Let's go back on the pound again, sorry. Yeah, likewise with the pound, but we're trying to fill that gap, but we've not filled the gap yet. Yeah, I mean, like I said before in another video, at the minute it's really difficult to analyze these things because we're not moving much within the price areas that we're in. We've been in the same price areas on multiple currencies and FX pairs for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks now. And it's really difficult to analyze in the same areas. We do need something to happen to shake it up a little bit. And to be honest, I think that is going to be next week or the week after. I mean, the euro, I did enter the short here on my build account, which I pulled the profit out. Basically, yeah, that is strong supply that is rejected off of. It's all hindering on the US dollar for the next week, guys, for a lot of these pairs. The euro, Japanese yen, just in the middle of nowhere in it, sideways. Trying to get up into this supply from a weekly perspective. Big tap up here, so our second big tap, but the first time we tapped it, we tapped up and went back down. We've tapped it, went back down, pull back, and now we're tapping it again. So that's a bit of a, you know, it's interested in these areas, and we've tapped it quicker than we did the last time. So I'd be skeptical of that, guys. This could just keep going up, to be honest. And the fact that we've got red euro news on Thursday as well will definitely help that. So euro Japanese yen, I wouldn't go short in anything just yet. Euro Canadian. Yeah. So this is big weekly supply here, guys. And it's the first time we've tapped it since it was created back in 2009. We've tried here, but this is the first time the euro Canadian dollar has hit this supply. So I'm going to analyze the Canadian dollar as well, because that's going to be important for giving a good analysis on this. So we've come deep into this supply as well. How accurate is this supply over here that is marked? Yeah, pretty. Oh, wow. Why is it like that? Yo, that's spamming right out. Why is it doing that? Oh, there we go, it's a bit better. Yeah, that's definitely weekly supply. Definitely weekly supply, and it is accurate as well. So, guys, euro Canadian dollar shorts potentially. And the reason why I say potentially is because I'm going to look at the Canadian dollar and see where we are in terms of supply and demand as well. And in terms of how fresh and whatnot. So potential entries for this, I mean, we've broken all these highs. So hopefully, if we're on the right side of the market, you would like to think, if you're getting in euro Canadian dollar shorts, you would like to think that you're not going to break this high now. So a stop loss, something sensible like that. I mean, if you're risk sensible, you can take it out of the supply zone, but that's a pretty good trade idea, to be honest. It is touched very, very old supply, completely untouched since 2009 now. So just bear that in mind. Look at the Canadian dollar in comparison. Right. Daily. So that's interesting. So that is interesting. Guys, I wouldn't do nothing just yet because we're on the way, we're coming down with some force basically. We're coming down with some force and there is demand down here. That's probably weekly demand as well, yeah. So we're coming down into weekly and daily demand. So basically, guys, the euro Canadian dollar shorts that I'm saying about, don't do nothing until the Canadian dollar is down into this demand. I'll keep an eye on this. We'll set an alert. Because this is no man's land, middle of nowhere. You know, you get in a buy now, price could keep going down. You get into a sell now, price could go up from where we are. Price is unpredictable in these areas, so we'll just keep that to the back of our minds and we'll just wait for this demand to get touched down here. So that's the plan yet for the euro Canadian dollar. British pound Swiss franc potential re-entries, which you spoke about, which went. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. Could we get any more re-entries? I mean, price is going up nice, isn't it? I mean, we're sort of in a re-entry area now, to be honest with you. Keep an eye on this. Set an alert. Keep an eye on this for tomorrow. My main personal trades is probably going to be coffee shorts and DAX longs on my build account. DAX longs and coffee shorts. Probably going to stay away from the FX. New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar. Yeah. Very slow moving pair. US dollar, Swiss franc. So I know people like to trade US dollar, Swiss franc quite a bit, don't they? And there's some opportunities on the horizon. Obviously, it's all hindering on the US dollar weakness coming up next week and all the news announcements. So just bear that in mind when you're thinking of taking buy positions from these demand zones. All right. Right. Wheat. Nearly fill in the gap for re-entries on wheat, guys. That was a lovely little trade. So yeah, keep an eye on wheat, guys, for some re-entries. Well, I'll keep an eye on it myself. But yeah, wheat re-entries is on the horizon. Cotton, we will not talk about cotton. We're going to look at XRP and Bitcoin in a second. Because, yeah, we'll look at XRP and I'll give some point of view on XRP or Ethereum as well. Corn is, yeah, waiting for the gap to fill down there. Cocoa, we're going to keep an eye on cocoa, guys. This is an idea I've been calling out for weeks on cocoa, so we'll keep glancing over it and we'll see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm not entering on this because a one lot on the build account is not great. Won't be a happy ending. And cut my coffee short idea. I'm waiting for this upper zone, this upper supply level here. Basically, that's the plan with that. We have a gap to fill on the way up, which is good. We could fill the gap and just drop. So I will be ready for that, just in case we could fill the gap and just drop. But if we fill the gap and we continue, then I'll be waiting, sat up here, ready to go. Oat, orange juice. Orange juice peaked up nice, nearly filled the gap. Drop back down. Soybean seems to be on its way down. Get back down into cheap prices. Let's look at XRP. No, XRP. Yeah. I've been looking at XRP, and I think if you want to buy more XRP is going to come down not to cheap prices like it was 5 years ago, well 3 years ago, when it was down like 50p a coin. But I do genuinely think that we're going to get down to cheaper prices where it would be a good idea to buy more, for sure. Well, that is what my plan of attack is. I'm waiting for price to get cheaper, and then I'll be buying more XRP. So XRP over the next couple of weeks will be getting cheaper and cheaper. Sort of by middle of October time, start of October, then price should hopefully start dwindling away. It depends how long it takes for it to get down here, but I did just want to point XRP out to you. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum. Hello. Nice. So Ethereum, guys, we're all-time highs. Yeah, we are all-time highs. And there is supply up here for all-time highs now. We have supply up at all-time highs on Ethereum. We have demand as well. So we have demand there, demand there, demand there. Ethereum at the minute, guys, is waiting for something. Again, it's consolidating sideways. So, and if I was to mark demand, then scenario of middle of nowhere, no man's land scenario at the moment, although we're the top side of no man's land, we are in no man's land in the grand scheme of things in the pricing areas. So if people are holding Ethereum, stay holding Ethereum. My point of view is we've broken all-time highs on Ethereum. We've broken all-time highs. We are in a pullback phase at the moment. We are in a high time frame pullback phase. And my honest opinion, I think we're going to pull back at least to this level for then continuing higher. And then that level would then also be like your test and your break and retests of structure as well. So it'll be coming down and also testing these sort of areas. So for Ethereum, guys, price is going to get a bit cheaper. And if you want to buy more to hold more, then there it is. There's where I would be looking to buy more. So that's Ethereum. XRP is going to get cheaper. Bitcoin, BTC, USD. Oh yeah, we're on the weekly. Sorry, I was confusing myself. Yeah, no. So interesting. So I think, well, I've said Bitcoin's going. I got into it and then pulled my profit out too early. I regret that a bit. We're having a pullback. I don't think Bitcoin's going down anymore for a little bit. I don't. Not unless something happens, so big happens over the next few weeks. Bitcoin seems, well, it could be doing one or two things here. Could be doing one or two things here. Like we're trending down. Yeah, we're trending down. Right, so I've stopped there. You can't really see it very well, but this just could be a lower high for the downward trend, or it could be a pullback from the demand zone for the continuation to the upside. So we're in a bit of a sticky wicket with Bitcoin for the long-term perspective. Want to see what Monday, Tuesday's daily candles are printing like, because like I said, it's a bit of a sticky wicket. We could go up or we could go down from here. Middle of in the middle of nowhere type scenario here with Bitcoin, guys. So just be a bit mindful of that. But just quickly glance at the DAX again, because this is a great trade idea which I really do like for next week, which I hope I haven't really missed the boat. No, that is going to come down some more. Yeah, I like that. Cool. What's the US 30? So the US 30 has come away from all-time highs, trying to go back down again. Same as the Russell, all-time highs. Nasdaq, interesting. Nasdaq, wait for that supply. I don't know why that's there. That was weeks ago, so I've still got my old colour. S&P. Yeah, all the indices, guys, are all-time highs, and we're coming up to like the Christmas wintry period now, so things sort of do generally slow down a little bit there, but there's not too much on the indices for me at the moment. Amazon, all-time highs, loads of gaps. I would never sell stocks, I just buy stocks. Apple is just going mine, didn't it? Apple is just cruising. That £100 million investment from the US government has definitely helped this. Liberty, yeah, nice. So Amazon, guys, I'm still waiting to get into some long positions on Amazon. Hindsight, should have got into some longs down here, but I wanted to protect the account. And longs here, got a long way to drop. So I'd rather wait and not get stung, to be honest. Let's just have a look at the metals, guys, and then we're going to call it. We're going to crude oil. Crude oil could be in play next week, guys. Finally. Crude oil could be in play next week, and we're creating gaps as well. So that's interesting. We're creating gaps now, which we have targets. So I think I'm going to take my first trade opportunity with this gap fill, because we have a gap there. It would make sense to just wick this gap fill in and then start trending up, because it's been trying to go up for a long time. We've just needed to fill this gap. So crude oil next week, guys, all over that. Silver, we're in weekly supply, guys. We're in weekly supply, so we could just dance around up here for a while. We still do have a very big gap to the downside that does need to be filled right there. But in the grand scheme of it, we're just going to probably dance here. I can't imagine we're going to just start thumping down. We're just going to chill here for a couple of days. But just bear in mind there is a gap there to be filled. So if you do want to short silver from these levels, just be sensible about it. Palladium, gapped up, filled the gap. Be interesting to see what Palladium does here now. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest shorting Palladium in the middle of nowhere, hoping it's going to continue dropping, because lo and behold, I bet you if you sold Palladium here, it would go up. I know we have a gap here, but this is my long-term plan for Palladium, is long positions from this demand here, which is a gap fill. And that would be my first opportunity at the trade, and then the one down here would be my second opportunity at the trade. Oh no, missed that. Missed that. That's a bit annoying. Look at the gaps. Oh, that's a bit annoying. I know people haven't missed it. I know people are in this trade. Well done. Fair play. Pat on the back. I missed it, unfortunately. Copper on the way back down. Still not filling the gap. Frustrating. And then, yeah, back to gold. Guys, next week, don't try calling tops on gold. Just chill out with it. Just let gold do its thing. If you're new to trading, personally, if you're new to trading, I would just not stay away from gold. Everyone seems to get sucked into it, sucked right into it. But don't let it work its magic on you like that, because more times than not, it's not a very good mix with new traders and people that are trying to iron out their strategy, shall we say. It's probably one of the most hardest things in the financial markets to trade gold. to be honest, for multiple reasons. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Really, I'm pretty tired. I've had a busy weekend. I played cricket yesterday, and I'm so achy today. Like, yeah, really achy. So I'm gonna chill out now. And my next opportunity, my next personal trade is going to be coffee shorts and DAX longs. Probably nothing to do with the FX market as of yet, because we do have a lot of news coming next week, and US dollar weakness is coming on the cards as well. On that one, guys, I will catch you next week. Cheers.